Good evening. Welcome to Current Affairs, January 21st, 2015. Before that, thank you so much for giving me a break for a day, and we'll resume the session now. Current Affairs. So, the most important things that are going on in the country is the elections of Delhi, considered to be highly prestigious elections for all the political parties, the BJP, Congress, and also Aam Aadmi Party. So, various developments are being taking place with respect to this election, and people are jumping from one political party to the other. So the wave is clear. Some important people are jumping into Bharatiya Janata Party, and Kiran Bedi, the first IPS officer, the first woman IPS officer in India, now she joined BJP officially, and she has been declared as a chief ministerial candidate. And a war of words have been begun between Arvind Kejriwal and Kiran Bedi. So we have to wait and watch again. Previously, it was considered to be a open fight between Arvind Kejriwal and Narendra Modi. So, but by announcing the Kiran Bedi as the chief ministerial candidate, so now it became a war of words between Arvind Kejriwal and Kiran Bedi, and Arvind Kejriwal has invited her for open debate, for which Kiran Bedi has refused, and she made it very clear that she is interested very much in delivery, not in debates and discussions. So these are the things that are happening. Of course, Arvind Kejriwal is using some statements which are considered to be the violation of the code of conduct in the elections. That's the reason why Election Commission has already issued 2 notices to Arvind Kejriwal. And today, if you look at today, so all the important people, Ajay Maken from Congress Party, Arvind Kejriwal from Aam Aadmi Party, and Kiran Bedi from BJP, they have all filed the nominations. So now the atmosphere is really very hot in New Delhi, considered to be very prestigious elections after May 16th. In last year, in the month of April and May, we have seen the Lok Sabha elections. And after that, so many elections have been taken place in various assemblies, in various states. But this is considered to be one of the very important ones. So we'll see. So what exactly is going to be the outcome, right? To which party the people in Delhi are going to vote, right? And apart from this, all the arrangements are made for welcoming the President of United States of America, Barack Hussein Obama, is coming to India. So he will be the chief guest for our Republic Day this year. So it's a custom in India. We invite one of the important peoples in the world to be the chief guest, and this time the chief guest is going to be Barack Hussein Obama, right? So all these details again we'll see. So when he comes, during that time some agreements are going to take place between India and United States of America. But let me open the document straight away to you, and let me have a discussion with you with respect to certain issues. Look at this. So in fact, this was the point that I was showing to you in the previous class. Look at this. Which of the following are matched correctly? We have list 1 and list 2. So these are the satellite based augmentation systems. And in the list 1, we have the names of the nations: United States of America, Japan, Europe, and India. And when it comes to the list 2, we have the names of the satellite based augmentation systems. In the list 2, you can see WAAN, MSAS, EGNOS, and GAGAN. So now, so we are asked to choose the correct one here. So choose the correct answer. So meaning is simple. So where exactly the list 1 is matching with the list 2. If you look at ABCD, USA, the name of the USA Satellite based augmentation system is WAN, and for that of Japan is MSAS, and Europe is EGNOS, and India is Gagan. So meaning list 1 is completely matching with the list 2. So hence option 4 should be the answer. All ABCD, all the ABCD are very much correct. Okay, just look at this one. I'll be scrolling it down and I'll tell you what is the meaning of this WAN MSAS. We'll see now. But remember, these are all the names of the nations. On the right side, to your right side, you have the satellite based augmentation system. Now, look at this. Option 4 is the answer. Look at now. All these are the, I'm sorry, all these are the satellite based augmentation system of various countries. Now, look at this. WAS, it stands for a wide area augmentation system, and it belongs to United States of America. Next one is MSAS. Kindly remember this, multifunctional satellite augmentation system, and it belongs to Japan. EGNOS, it, look at this EGNOS, it stands for European Geostationary Navigation Overlay Service. Kindly remember, it belongs to European Union rather. It is called European Geostationary Navigation Overlay Service. And if you look at the last one, that is the Gagan. Obviously, every one of you must be knowing this. It is India's satellite-based augmentation system. Look at this, it stands for GPS, GPS aided geo augmented navigation. So that is the Gagan. And if you look at the last one, the Gagan services are used by Airport Authority of India. Kindly remember this one, all the names here. So these are the satellite based augmentation system. Very frequently it is appearing in the newspaper. Clear, and especially when it comes to Gagan, always there in the news. Okay. Now, I'm moving to the next question. Look at the question here. Which of the following is the satellite service used for rail navigation? Look at the question very carefully. Which of the following is the satellite service used for rail navigation? Gagan, Simran, Akash, and BrahMos. What is Gagan? We have just seen that is used for the airport navigation. That is used by airport authorities of India. And if you look at option C and D, there is the Akash and BrahMos. These are the missiles. So obviously the option should be B, that is Simran. What do you mean by this? Let's try to have a look at this. Option B is the answer. Note. It stands for satellite imaging for rail navigation. Kindly remember this. It may be a question in any examination. It stands for satellite imaging for rail navigation. And by using this one, the people can find the accurate location of the trains. It's really the beautiful thing. And it was developed by RDSO, which stands for Research, Designs, and Standards Organization. And it is being developed by RDSO in collaboration with Kanpur, IIT Kanpur. Kindly remember this. It is a rail navigation system. Okay. Now, if you want, I can just show you the question once again. Look at the question, please. Of the following is the satellite service used for rail navigation? Option B is the answer. That is a Simran. And we have seen Simran, it stands for satellite imaging for rail navigation. Now, I would like to show you one of the very, very important things. That is the president of India's statement on January 19th, 2015. Now, see here basically, since beginning we are understanding that the president of India is considered to be a nominal executive. See, this is what the word we generally use. But when you read certain important subjects like the Constitution of India or the public administration or the political science, so these are the areas where we discuss the powers of the president in an elaborate manner. But generally, we use the word president is a nominal executive and the prime minister is the real executive. And in countries like India, every time the decisions are taken by the prime minister, that will be forwarded to the president of India, and the president is expected to accept those recommendations. And accordingly, the president will be signing, and that will become a reality. Meaning, every order, every notification, every other, every law will come into existence only with the signature of the president, otherwise it will not. So that is the reason president is considered to be the very, very important person. But if I'm using the word the president is a nominal executive, does it mean that the president has to accept every decision that is taken by the prime minister and the council of ministers? Obviously, obviously it is not. It is because if you look at the in the previous class also, I was talking to you regarding the ordinance making power of the president. And during that time, I have explained you about article number 123 and how exactly it can be used. Now the point is that just because there is a provision that is available in the constitution, can it be used? Basically, this particular provision is available in the constitution only to meet some extraordinary circumstances. Only when you have unavoidable circumstances, then only use article 123 and issue the ordinances. But unfortunately, what happened? So many governments, not just today's government, so many governments in India, they tried to misuse the concept of Article 123. Under Article 123, ordinance will be issued by the President of India, and the President is acting on the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. So this is the whole story. Excuse me. So this is the story what we have understood in the previous classes also. But whenever the President of India highlights something, or whenever the President of India starts objecting for certain things, then it will become a bigger issue for the discussion. Then it will become a very huge subject for the discussion. And if you look at the present President of India, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, is considered to be a highly learned person. He knows various subjects. He reads and he read so many books, and there is a enormous knowledge that is present in that particular brain. And when Congress party is there in the power, I am talking about UPA 1 and UPA 2, Pranab Mukherjee was considered to be a troubleshooter. He was considered to be a troubleshooter, and the Congress party was living in on the advice and the protection that is provided by Pranab Mukherjee. And that great person in the year 2012, in the year 2012, he became the president of India. And when you become the president of India from the very, very active politics, does it mean that because the president is nominal, should he has to maintain the silence? Need not be. That's the reason when the present government, that is a BJP government, that is a NDA government, when it is asking the president of India to issue so many ordinances, the president has started raising objections. This particular provision of 123 is there in the constitution only to meet certain emergency situations, and that should not be used every time. So these are the statements that are given by Mr. Pranab Mukherjee. He made it very, very clear. Kindly see here what will happen. Today, our communication system is so fast, media is playing a crucial role, and the people are aware of so many things in India. Education levels are increasing, and there is a very free flow of information from one place to the other place. And especially whenever the people like the President of India speak something, that will really become one important thing for the discussions. When the president himself is objecting certain activities of his own government, the people of the country will be starting discussing about that, and it will become a mechanism to put pressure. It becomes a mechanism to put pressure on the government of India, and we are restraining the government to do certain things. Otherwise, for everything, you cannot take the route of ordinance, and it can be used only under the extraordinary circumstances. And the President of India made it very clear. Kindly see here, whatever I am talking to you now, everybody who is preparing for the civil service examination, for you, it is very important. In other examinations, they will just ask you what is ordinance, what is the related article, and who will issue this, on whose advice, what is the validity. But whatever I am talking to you now, this is useful exclusively for the civil service examination. And the president made it very clear, India is a parliamentary form of democracy. In this, it is a majority party that will rule. Yes, we know this, it is a majority party that is ruling. Just because you have the majority in one house in the Lok Sabha, it does not mean that so you can use and misuse any provision that is present in the constitution. Absolutely not acceptable as far as the president of India is concerned. And because you have the majority, you go through the proper procedures of the legislation. Introduce a bill in the Lok Sabha, then go to Rajya Sabha, convince the members and pass the bills. That is how you need to go through. And he also made it very clear, in a parliamentary democracy, the opposition parties will also play a very crucial role. And the opposition parties will have every right to oppose and expose and followed by depose the government. So it's a fantastic statement that is given by Pranab Mukherjee. Now, opposition parties have every right to oppose, expose, and depose the government. Oppose in the sense, just because a proposal is coming from the government side, it does not mean that the opposition parties will be accepting it. They have every right to oppose. That is a mark of the democracy, because the opposition parties are expressing their views. Number two, you also have every right to expose the government. If the government is following any fraudulent methods to come to for any legislation, obviously the opposition parties can expose the government. And in the worst case, the opposition parties will also have every right to depose the government. Depose in the sense dislodging the government, provided the opposition parties must have the majority. If they don't have the majority, it is really impossible to dislodge the government. Because the President of India made so many statements, it became really important for us for our discussion. And you know now very clearly what is Article 123, you know, what is ordinance, you know, who will be issuing, how it will be coming into picture, everything you know. That is one side, that's the fact. But when it comes to this analysis, because the President of India has spoken so many things regarding ordinance, it is gaining a lot of importance now. By taking the latest examples, you will be in a position to, you should be in a position to write the answer for this. Now I'll show you the exact statement and exact words used by Pranab Mukherjee, the President of India. And I will also give you a question, and I expect you to give me the answer for that. Am I clear? I'm sorry. I'll show you the document now. Right. Look at this. Look at this. The statement that is given by the President of India is that the cardinal principle of parliamentary democracy is that the majority has the mandate to rule, while the opposition has the right to oppose, expose, and if the numbers permit, depose. But under no circumstances should there be disruption of the proceedings. A noisy minority cannot be allowed to gag a patient majority. So there is so much of meaning in these statements that was given by Pranab Mukherjee. Cardinal principle in the sense, the fundamental principle of the parliamentary democracy is that the majority party will always rule. And in the same parliamentary democracy, the opposition has every right to oppose, expose. And if the numbers are permitting, you have every right to depose. But under no circumstances should there be disruption of the proceedings. Meaning, on the floor of the house, you can have any discussion, you can go to any extent for the healthy debates. But disruptions should not be permitted. So, meaning, if you're disrupting the house, so you are suspending the discussions. And if you don't discuss on the floor of the house, how do you make a policy? That is the basic idea. That's the reason why, of course, he was also in politics for quite long period of time. Pranab Mukherjee also seen personally so many disruptions in the proceedings, but he is one person in India, one of the persons in India who does not like the disruptions in the proceedings. Look at this, the last statement in the highlighted portion. A noisy minority cannot be allowed to gag a patient majority. So this is the statement that is given by Mr. Pranab Mukherjee. Hopefully you understood the statement. Now, after understanding this statement, go to the next point and have a look at this. In the light of the above statement made by the President, in the light of the above statement made by the President of India, comment on the ordinance making power of the President. So now what I am asking you to do here, you know what are all the latest ordinances that are issued by the President of India, and under pressure, and not under pressure rather, after the recommendation that came from the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister, the President has come out with this. But we have also seen that the President has called some of the ministers and he questioned some of the ministers regarding the objectivity behind these ordinances. And now he made it very openly, very clear that you have to follow through certain procedure. Ordinance making is not a solution every time. Is that okay? And by taking all these things into consideration, you have to comment on this one. And what do you mean by this comment? Comment is nothing but making these statements as clearer as possible. And please mention Article 123. Please mention the word ordinance and also mention how exactly they will be issued. But with respect to this statement, how the ordinance making power of the President has to be used. That is very, very important thing. So please don't try to mention all the facts here. Facts, we know the facts here. But I want your analysis on this particular subject. Clear? Now kindly have a practice on this one, have a write up, and please send it to me through mail. So I'll go for certain corrections here. So this here, this is the statement that is given by given by the President of India in one of the English newspapers. I'm sorry. And the statement I have directly taken from the newspaper, right? And I have given that one to you. Even in the examination, sometimes such type of important statements are directly lifted up from the newspaper, and that will be given in the examination. So during this time, that is the reason why, while you are reading the newspaper, also be very clear about the statements you are reading. It is not just reading and leaving it out. Read, understand, and assimilate. That will give you the marks in the examination. I am talking about civil services, right? In other examinations, you need not bother about this. So the facts are enough. Am I clear? Now, I'll stop at this stage. And again, from tomorrow onwards, we'll have the regular sessions. But the see here, maybe for polity, so we may have in the afternoon tomorrow. But anyways, I'll be intimating you the timings there. The polity will be having this week. This will be this week will be having the afternoon session. But when it comes to current affairs, it is as usual, public administration at 6:15 in the morning that we'll be having it. But polity session only for few days, we'll have it in the afternoons. Okay. So thank you so much for being with me. And one second. I would like to give you one statement here, please. Right. Now, I'll just read out the statement what I have with me. A great thinker was asked. A great thinker was asked, what is the meaning of life? A great thinker was asked, what is the meaning of life? And that great thinker has replied that life itself has no meaning. Life itself has no meaning. Life is an opportunity to create a meaning. This is a statement that is given by a great thinker, please. Life itself is an opportunity to create a meaning. I'll read the statement here. A great thinker was asked, what is the meaning of the life? And that great thinker replied that life itself has no meaning. Life is an opportunity to create a meaning. And we know what is the meaning of this. So we have the opportunity to create the meaning for our life, and let's create the meaning for this life. Thank you so much for being with me. I wish you all the very, very best and see you tomorrow in the evening. Thank you so much.